Calves are in flames. I mean, they're inflamed. Have you ever been outside on a really smoky day? Imagine being unable to breathe in anything but that smoky air for days, weeks, or even months at a time. This is the reality for more than 40% of dairy cattle in the United States. Wildfires are becoming more severe with climate change, and they produce excessive smoke that can travel really far distances. This smoke is made of toxic particles and gases, which we know harms humans and animals. Dairy cows that inhale wildfire smoke produce less milk, and this can be a major financial burden on dairy producers. Yet no one has studied the effects of wildfire smoke on dairy calves, and they're also very important for dairy producers because they're the future of the dairy industry. So I went on a mission. I wanted to understand how dairy calves respond to wildfire smoke. To do this, I followed female dairy calves over the course of several wildfire seasons. Now, during these wildfire seasons, we typically see unhealthy levels of smoke for at least a few days, if not weeks at a time. I noticed dairy calves have inflammation in their entire body whenever there are these smoke events. So it made me wonder, what exactly is happening inside the lungs of these calves? Respiratory problems are already the #1 cause of death in dairy calves and can affect their milk production later in life. So my next step was to understand how the calf lung responds to wildfire smoke. And I wanted to do this by looking right into the lung. I used lung ultrasounds to assess the severity and the extent of lung consolidation. Consolidation is essentially fluid replacing air in the small airways of the respiratory tract. So wherever there's more consolidation, it's much harder for calves to breathe properly. I also wanted to understand how white blood cells inside the lung respond to smoke. These are very important for defense against things like pathogens or particles inside the lung. To do this, I collected samples of respiratory fluid and looked at the cells under a microscope. Now, I found that during these wildfire events, the consolidation was increased, and that lasted for several days. As for the white blood cells, I found that macrophages increased. Now, macrophages are involved in inflammation, and they're kind of like the cleanup crew of the cell world. They help defend against things like pathogens and even particles like smoke particles, so that might be why we saw that response. Now, these results tell us that calves are likely more susceptible to inflammation in their lungs and therefore respiratory problems when they're exposed to smoke. By tackling the burning questions as to how the calf lung responds to wildfire smoke, we can help dairy producers find solutions for their animals so that one day we can outpace the negative effects of wildfire smoke in dairy cattle health and production, and hopefully see a few less inflamed calves. Thank you.